It's Tuesday, November 18th, 2025, and I'm Dave Sobel. 4 things to know today. SMBs accelerate toward MDR and autonomous SOCs as AI-driven attacks outpace human defenses. Shadow AI explodes, showing governance is already behind real employee behavior. State-aligned threat groups deploy autonomous attack chains while malware starts rewriting itself on the fly. And retail leaders warn their frontline teams simply can't spot AI-crafted threats, widening the readiness gap. These shifts define where MSP security operations must go next. This is the business of tech. I'm going to talk a lot of security today, and I'll start with some TechAisle research to baseline it. TechAisle highlights a shift in how small and medium-sized businesses and mid-market companies are approaching cybersecurity, driven by a growing demand for artificial intelligence, the rise of managed detection and response services, and an increasing awareness of zero-trust principles. According to TechAisle's research, awareness of managed detection and response among SMBs surged from 39% in 2023 to 61% in 2025, while 89% of mid-market firms now view the transition to cyber resilience as important. This shift is paving the way for the concept of the Autonomous Security Operations Center, which aims to provide sophisticated security solutions as a service, addressing the pressing challenges of staffing and the need for effective security operations without the burden of hiring and maintaining in-house expertise. A recent report from UpGuard reveals that 68% of security leaders admit to using unauthorized artificial intelligence tools, a practice known as shadow AI. The report highlights that 80% of employees are bypassing corporate governance, with a notable 90% of security leaders themselves using unapproved AI applications. Despite 40% of employees receiving AI safety training, they frequently rely on these unapproved tools, demonstrating a significant disconnect between security protocols and employee behavior. UpGuard emphasizes the need for organizations to adapt their governance strategies to engage effectively with employees and address the growing concerns surrounding AI usage in the workplace. A groundbreaking report from Anthropic reveals the first recorded instance of a large-scale cyber attack utilizing artificial intelligence not merely as an assistant, but as an active participant. The attack, attributed to a Chinese state-sponsored group, involved AI performing various tasks autonomously, including reconnaissance, vulnerability discovery, and data exfiltration. According to Anthropic, 80% to 90% of these operations were executed independently by the AI, marking a significant shift in how advanced threat actors may employ AI technologies in future cyber attacks. The company has since taken steps to ban the accounts involved and enhance its detection systems, urging the cybersecurity community to adapt to these evolving threats. The New York Times also covered this one. Recent developments in cyber threats indicate that malicious actors are leveraging artificial intelligence to create more adaptive and stealthy malware. According to a report from Google, these new malware strains can evolve in real time during attacks, complicating detection and defense efforts. 5 recently identified malware families, Fruit Shell, Prompt Flux, Prompt Steal, Prompt Lock, and Quiet Vault, exhibit advanced AI capabilities. For instance, Prompt Flux employs AI to regenerate its code, making it harder for security measures to detect. Meanwhile, Prompt Steal, utilized by a Russia-linked group, uses a large language model to generate commands for stealing information, marking a concerning evolution in cyber attack strategies. Google stresses the need for cybersecurity defenses to adapt to these emerging threats, moving away from static, traditional detection tools. Why do we care? The attackers have already moved to automation, and the defenders are still arguing over policies employees stopped following a year ago. SMBs know they can't staff their way out of this. That's why MDR and talk of autonomous SOCs are rising. They're looking for operational models that actually scale. Meanwhile, Shadow AI tells us governance playbook is broken. If 90% of security leaders are using unapproved AI tools, the issue isn't disobedience. It's that the policies don't match reality. You can't secure a workflow you don't understand, and employees are going to use AI whether you approve it or not. And then look at the threat side. Chinese groups running autonomous attack chains, malware that rewrites itself on the fly. This isn't theoretical anymore. Static detection and manual response simply won't hold. Providers need to make their operations more automated, more behavioral, and more identity-driven. This is the moment to shift from find the bad to constantly verify the good. And here's the real operational shift. This all pushes MSPs towards architectures built on identity, automation, and behavioral baselines. Whether you build it yourself or rely on partners, continuous verification has to become the default operating model, not just another feature in the stack. That's how you survive AI-era threats, and frankly, how you stay ahead of the competition, too. This episode is supported by Mail Protector. Want inbox protection that questions everything before trusting a thing? Mail Protector delivers a patented zero-trust email security platform built just for managed service providers. Their Shield solution learns real communication patterns to build a trust network using behavior-based filtering to stop threats before they reach the inbox. It also provides dynamic context with an in-email heads-up display showing trusted or risky messages in real time. They also include Bracket for effortless, agentless email encryption. Just wrap brackets around the subject to send secure messages and files with no apps and no passwords. And Radar, a 360-degree email security analysis that scores your vulnerabilities and even helps you turn them into sales opportunities. The result? Providers get hands-off threat prevention and security insights, while clients enjoy calm, focused inboxes with encrypted communication and clear risk awareness. To see it in action, schedule a demo at mailprotector.com/MSP Radio. A recent report by Level Blue reveals that 2/3 of retail executives find it increasingly difficult for employees to identify genuine cyber threats due to the growing complexity introduced by artificial intelligence. The report highlights that 44% of retailers have experienced a significant increase in cyber attacks, with 34% reporting breaches in the past year. Despite awareness of these threats, only 25% feel prepared for AI-driven attacks, even as 45% anticipate such incidents. Corey Daniels, Chief Security and Trust Officer at Level Blue, emphasizes the urgent need for businesses to adopt a resilience-focused approach to defend against sophisticated cyber risks. The report suggests that retailers prioritize cybersecurity measures, including investing in application security and integrating cyber resilience into their organizational culture. Why do we care? Well, here's the punchline. Retail leaders are telling us plainly that their people can't keep up. And honestly, who can blame them? AI-generated phishing, deepfake voice calls, and increasingly polished lures make spot the threat basically impossible for a frontline cashier or store manager. If the defense depends on employees being perfect, it's already broken. So the message is clear. Stop selling the idea that training fixes this. It doesn't. Retail, and frankly everybody else, needs resilience, segmentation so a compromised point of sale terminal can't take down the network, better app security so back-end systems aren't a soft target, and identity controls that don't rely on users making the right choice under pressure. The preparedness gap in the report is huge. Only a quarter think they're ready. That's an opportunity for MSPs who can walk executives through what ready actually looks like. Not buzzwords, not tool lists, a real operational model they can understand and invest in. Retail knows it's vulnerable, they just need someone to translate that awareness into a plan that actually works. Providers who can do that win. North Korean hackers have adapted their strategies by using JSON storage services to deliver malware, according to a report by NVISO researchers. The campaign, linked to the contagious interview operation, targets software developers through professional networking sites like LinkedIn, encouraging them to download malicious code disguised as legitimate projects hosted on platforms like GitHub and GitLab. These hackers utilized JSON Keeper and similar services to host malicious payloads, which include a JavaScript malware known as Beavertail. The malware is designed to harvest sensitive data and deploy a Python backdoor called Invisible Ferret. The researchers emphasized that the use of legitimate websites for malware delivery demonstrates a concerted effort by these actors to operate stealthily while compromising potential targets. And ransomware activity has reached unprecedented levels, with 85 active ransomware and extortion groups reported in the third quarter of 2025. According to Checkpoint Research, these groups disclosed 1,590 victims across various leak sites, indicating a decentralized ransomware ecosystem that continues to thrive despite law enforcement efforts. The emergence of 14 new ransomware brands illustrates the rapid reconstitution of affiliates following takedowns of larger operations, while Lockbit's return with version 5.0 suggests a potential shift back towards centralization in the ransomware landscape. The report highlights that as enforcement actions disrupt large groups, smaller independent operations are becoming more prevalent, complicating the tracking and predicting of ransomware activities for cybersecurity professionals. Why do we care? The bad guys are hiding in plain sight. They're using GitLab, GitHub, JSON stores, the exact same places your developers pull code and configuration from every single day. That means the old idea of just block the sketchy stuff doesn't work anymore. This is legitimate traffic being weaponized, and unless you understand what normal behavior looks like in your customer environments, you're gonna miss this. And the ransomware data tells a similar story. We're not winning. We're just knocking down the big names, and as soon as that happens, the affiliates scatter, launch their own brands, and keep going. Smaller groups move faster, break patterns, and make intel feeds less useful. Lockbit popping back up with 5.0 shows the cycle just repeats. So providers have to stop relying on the idea that big takedowns buy us time. They don't. The only thing that matters is whether you can spot weird behavior, weird JSON pulls, weird interpreter activity, weird processor chains. It's about what's happening on the endpoint, not who the ransomware brand is this month. Clients need to hear that message too. Threats aren't going down, they're just getting harder to recognize. The job now is visibility, not wishful thinking. Cork Cyber has launched the Vantage platform, a cyber risk intelligence tool aimed at managed service providers to help manage and validate cyber risk. Key features of Vantage include vendor-agnostic views of cyber and operational risk, visibility into client security stacks, and the ability to identify vulnerabilities and misconfigurations. The platform offers 94% visibility across security stacks and assists in risk scoring and assurance reporting. The product expands Cork Cyber's offerings beyond warranties and addresses the need for unified risk management in the cybersecurity landscape. Why do we care? Cork is no longer just a warranty company. They're trying to become the place where MSPs go to validate whether the security stack actually does what everyone says it does. And honestly, that's the right direction. We need fewer PDFs and more real-world evidence of misconfigurations, vulnerabilities, and controls that aren't actually enforced. But the big number they're touting, 94% visibility, that needs interrogation. Visibility into what exactly? If it's endpoint and firewall configs, that's nice but not transformative. If it includes identity, SaaS posture, cloud controls, and unmanaged device exposure, now we're talking. MSPs should ask, show me the integrations, show me the data sources, and show me where the blind spots are. Also, remember Cork's incentives. They underwrite risk. So yes, it's in their interest to have better telemetry, but that also means they may nudge you towards certain practices or certain stack assumptions. Vendor agnostic is a promise until the incentives push the other way. If this tool truly gives you independent validation across your messy multi-vendor environments, it's worth a look. If it's just another risk score dashboard with pretty charts, then it's noise. The job here is to pressure test Cork's claims and make sure you're not just buying another layer of compliance theater. The value comes from actionable findings you can use with customers, not from the logo on the report. Thanks for listening. This one we've got to celebrate today, National Entrepreneurs Day, which is so many of you. Happy National Entrepreneurs Day. Want more from the Business of Tech? Join Business of Tech Plus for ad-free episodes, early interviews, extended cuts, subscriber-only shows, and exclusive member perks and analysis. Sign up at businessof.tech/plus. And follow this show in your podcast app, and if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe and the bell so you never miss a story. Reviews and comments help spread the word too. Interested in advertising? Head to mspradio.com/engage. The Business of Tech is written and produced by me, Dave Sobel, under ethics guidelines posted at businessof.tech. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next episode.
Part of the MSP Radio Network.